and welcome. Today I'm going to show you all the books that I did get over this week. I'm really excited because a lot of these are actually were already on my TBR, and now I'm gonna, I actually have them, and I found some cool ones I've never heard of before, different kinds of genres. So I'm gonna go over that with you today. I have a couple candles in here, and I have a couple other books in here that aren't new necessarily, but they are some of the authors are actually coming out with new books, and I'm gonna have to look that up because at least I think Emily Carroll of this particular comic series Through the Woods, she has a new I think graphic novel coming out, I at least from what I remember, and there's a couple others. So first and foremost, if you are watching over on Amazon Live, it's probably a lot easier. So if there is a book that you really want to check out, you can at least click on the carousel down below. But you'll find on our carousel currently in the very, very front, it's a bunch of tech stuff. So it's all of my streaming gear. Well, not all of it, a lot of it that I use. So if you have any questions about it at all, let me know. But we're going to be talking about books today. But I just wanted to share that I use an Elgato face cam. And in addition to that, I also use the Blue Yeti USB mic, and it's pretty durable, pretty awesome. It's got decent sound quality. I'm still kind of navigating a few of these things because I've moved my studio a little bit and the sound's a little different now. So anyway, so we're going to move on to our first series of books. This one is older, but it was recommended to me. It's something I'd never really heard about. It's more dystopian versus like spooky, scary. But both of my friends recommended, this is the Enclave or the Razorland. Ooh, I just popped my wrist. Series here. So I think in my carousel, it might be one book that encompasses all of these. That seems like a lot. So somebody told me this is basically like if you made a Fallout story. So Fallout the game. So I've not read these at all. It's if you like Hunger Games, this is another one. I think it's probably a YA novel as well. So let's look at Enclave first. I think this is the first one. I might unfortunately have to read these little sleeves for some of these, so bear with me as I do that. So it says, in Deuce's world, an enclave deep underground, people earn the right to a name only if they survive their first 15 years. Well, that's crap. By that point, each unnamed brat, oh yeah, this is totally a YA book, I can already tell. Okay, has trained to join one of the three groups. We have breeders, builders, and hunters, identifiable by the number of scars they bear on their arms. Can't you just fake this? I feel like you could fake this. Deuce has wanted to be a huntress for as long as she can remember. As a huntress, her purpose is clear: to brave the dangerous tunnels outside the enclave and bring back meat to feed the group while evading the ferocious monsters known as freaks. I see where the Fallout thing is actually pretty similar in here. So Fade doesn't like following orders. Deuce has never known a boy like him before, someone as likely to touch her gently as he uses knives with feral grace. Okay, this is a YA book. So you can tell it's a little like dystopian. There's some monsters, but clearly you have to have some romance in your YA book. So if you're looking for a little bit of a different YA book that is more like Fallout, this is pretty cool. If you do know some people that love the Fallout game franchise, this would be kind of a cool thing to add on to that. So this is Enclave. There's a whole trilogy that's come out. This was just recommended to me by some of my friends, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, and I haven't. I'm really bad about that. So clearly it is on my TBR. So let's move on to our next book. This one's actually new, and it's by Riley Sager. My other friend, I'm on a waiting list for this one. I was on a waiting list for this one, so I finally was like, I'm just going to buy it. I'm not going to wait anymore. I mean, it was 21 people or more. It might have been like 40 actually on my library. Anyway, so Riley Sager finally has written his next book, The Only One Left. I have not read this, obviously. My friend got through this in a day, easy. Like, it's not a small book, it's a decent sized novel. And she was like, this is a 5 out of 5. Bomb book. So good. So here's what it's about. Plus the cover's pretty cool, right? So here is what it says in the sleeve. Okay. Oh, this is that one. Okay. We go through so many books. So if you are interested in learning what new books are coming out every year, check out our podcast and our socials. All of that is down below. So every single week, we go through we curate a whole bunch of books that are coming out that are all spooky, gothic, etc. So sometimes I need a reminder because there's hundreds of books out there. All right. So here we go. This one's got a fun rhyme in here. So I'm just going to read this rhyme that's right here. It says, at 17, Lenora Hope hung her sister with a rope, stabbed her father with a knife, took her mother's happy life. It wasn't me, Lenora said, but she's the only one not dead. So you get a little nursery rhyme in there and you're like, what is going on here? So it says, now reduced to a schoolyard chant, the Hope family murders shocked the Maine coast one bloody night in 1929. While most people assume 17-year-old Lenora was responsible, the police were never able to actually prove that. Other than her denial after the killing, she has never spoken publicly about that night, nor has she set foot outside of Hope's End, the cliffside mansion. I just want to, here's what we're going over. If you are watching on any of these streaming things, we're talking about Riley Sager's the only one left. All right. So it says it's now 1983 and home health aide Kit McDeer arrives at a decaying Hope's End to care for Lenora. I wonder if this way would be better. Oh, it is. No. And then I'm going to block my bookshelf. Anyway. Okay. So Kit is caring for Lenora now. And because Lenora's previous nurse actually fled in her 70s and confined to a wheelchair, Lenora was rendered mute by a series of strokes and can only communicate with Kit by tapping out sentences on an old typewriter. That's already pretty creepy. So one night, Lenora uses this typewriter and types out, "I want to tell you everything." Kit helps Lenora write about the events leading to Hope's family massacre, and it becomes clear there's a lot more to the tale than people know about. But when the details about her predecessor's departure come to light, Kit starts to suspect that Lenora might not be telling the complete truth. This sounds really awesome, and I've heard amazing things about this book. If you are looking for a really good spooky summer horror read, I do recommend this one. I've only heard great things. So this is the only one left. It sounds great. This might be actually good for September, especially if you maybe want to give this as a gift to somebody going into college or something, because we're going to be doing schoolyard chanting. Anyway, okay, let's move on to our next book here on our list. I'm really excited about that one. So I have candles in here too. I tend to read. Sorry, I'm going to be scooting a lot probably. I do like to light, especially fall and winter time. And then actually here in the Pacific Northwest, spring, summertime, there's some dreary days. I do like to light candles all the time. So Friday Collection is a really fun one. So this isn't quite dark. We do tend to like even dark scents and dark candles over here. This one's a little brighter, but it definitely reminds me of a summer night. This is Starlust. It's kind of like, it's ambery. Some people hate amber smells. I personally love it. So it's really warm, kind of a spicy scent, but also pretty earthy. Check out all of Friday Collection. They have or Collective. They have a lot of different scents out there. This is the 3-wick candle. As you can see, I've been using it. It actually takes a while to burn off. So if you're looking for some fun, interesting scents, this is made with essential oils. This is Starlust. I do recommend this one. So moving on, it's not like I can share the scent with you over online. I wished I could. That would be nice. And it's 20% off today. Plus, I like to collect candles a little before the spooky season, just because I go through them so fast. Okay. I do have some comic books here, and I do want to look this up. So I think we have here, this is Emily Carroll's oldest book. Well, not oldest. It's her graphic novel anthology, Through the Woods. Let me check something. So I'm pretty sure she has a book coming out, or another graphic novel coming out this coming month. So let me just check real fast. I think it's a guest in this house. Maybe not. Hold on. I'm checking. Oh, yeah, it is. It's a guest in this house. I wish I could pull that up. So I wanted to share with you, if you are into graphic novels, especially, this one is written like a fairy tale, like a grim fairy tale, but it's clearly not, and it's her own stories. But it feels like these are stories as old as time. I hope that makes sense. So I wanted to share this one with you in case you were really interested in her newest one coming out, A Guest in This House. So this one, I gotta switch sides here. Here, I'll just share with you the art. It's very interesting. It kind of the colors can be really pastel and really bright and fun and I don't know, welcoming, but the story itself is other than that, it's not the same. It's pretty spooky and creepy. There are, I think, 5 or 6 stories. I think it's 5 stories in here, as you can see. I like anthologies, especially summertime. It gets really busy for us. These ones are very, very different kinds of stories as well. I need to make sure I filter these because Amazon, it's Amazon. So each story has a different theme. It deals with different kinds of characters. Sometimes it feels like it deals with different times. So some seem very contemporary and others are like way back in the day. And then different kinds of creepy crawlies. So we have more paranormal stuff, or, it's almost like Junji Ito, where he deals with, he'll take from all kinds of things. It's really brilliantly crafted. So if you're looking for some creepy gothic reads, especially graphic novel and an anthology, I do recommend Emily Carroll just generally, and you should check out her newest book that's going to be coming out. It might actually already be out. The art is fantastic. It's oddly approachable, but the stories stay with you. They really do. So I wanted to share this with you. This has been out for a while, I think since 2013 or 16. It's been a bit. So this is Through the Woods, stories by Emily Carroll. Check that one out. And it's 28% off today. Okay, let's move to our next novel. So I'm cheating a little bit. I don't have this one. I did the audiobook. So in my carousel, I have The Ferryman by Justin Cronin. Justin Cronin did the Passage trilogy. If you're obsessed with vampires in The Passage, and it became a TV show on Fox. His latest book, The Ferryman, is 53% off, which is a pretty good deal. The book is thick. The Passage is a huge book too. But The Ferryman, I think, might even be a little bit longer, and it's a standalone story. I just finished it. If you're looking for a sci-fi dystopian novel, I do recommend this one. It is a trip. It's almost like a fever dream. It has a lot of different familiar themes, but he's made it his own story. It follows a guy who's literally a ferryman who escorts people to their end of days, and the people get reinstated and their memories are wiped and they are born again as like 16-year-olds. They're wards, and then they go off and live their life again. So his job is to ferry these people off to another place called the nursery. It's a very interesting story. Lots of cool stuff in there. I do recommend it. And no, I don't have the book on me, but I did listen to the audiobook, just finished it. So I wanted to go over that real fast. Okay, I'm not going to talk about Tombs quite yet, but I will talk about this one. I'll talk about Tombs in a second. So here we have Eric LaRocca. Things have gotten worse since we last spoke. Admittedly, the reason why I picked this one up in the first place was the cover is super cool. I love this art style. It's really interesting. But the story itself is pretty sinister. He likes to write really bleak short stories typically. So here's what it says in here. A whirlpool of darkness churns at the heart of a macabre ballet between two young, lonely women in an internet chat room in the early 2000s. A darkness that threatens to forever transform them once they finally succumb to their most horrific desires. So that's story one. Then we have another story that says a couple isolate themselves on a remote island in an attempt to recover from their teenage son's death when a mysterious young man knocks on their door during a storm. And then the third story is a man confronts his neighbor when he discovers a strange object in his backyard, only to be drawn into an ever more dangerous game. And I think we have two more stories. It says, oh, wait, no. And it says, what have you done today to deserve your eyes? So that, I mean, like, there's a lot of creepy stuff in here. This is a anthology of stories. Eric LaRocca has done a couple of anthologies. I'm really looking forward to when he actually starts a big book. Maybe he's just going to be that short story creepy guy, but he tends to have some really morbid stuff. So if you're looking for something that's really creepy and really just horrific, check out Eric LaRocca generally. And this one has gotten some decent reviews. This one's 21 or 20% off. It's $15.99 today. So that's my next book that I have been needing to read for a very long time. I'm just struggling to keep up with everything lately. And then next, this one's a big, widely anticipated novel. We have Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is Silver Nitrate. So she's done Mexican Gothic was her biggest, big hit. And then she also did, oh my goodness, The Daughter of Dr. Moreau, which I read, which is pretty good. Not the same as some of her other stuff. I'm trying to remember. She's done a lot, and I don't know why I'm struggling here to remember all the things she's done. So had to pick this one up. I actually did not realize it was a signed copy. So I guess I'm really lucky. This signed copy is not available on Amazon, I don't think. But the book itself is 50% off, even though it was just released not that long ago. So it's $13.99. It's pretty, I mean, it's going to keep you occupied this summer. So let's see what this is about. Okay. So this is just basically, it is about Mexican horror movies specifically, Nazi occultism, and it's a dark thriller about a curse that haunts a legendary lost film and awakens one woman's hidden powers. Silvia Moreno Garcia does a great job with her female protagonists, in my opinion. They have all been very different kinds of ladies as well. So you don't see the same kind of character just placed in different stories. So I like how much she's put into all of her character developments, and all of the characters that are usually in her stories are great. Okay, here's what this one is about. Montserrat has always been overlooked. She's a talented sound editor, but she's left out of the boys' club running the film industry in the 90s Mexico City. And she's all but invisible to her best friend Tristan, a charming, if faded soap opera star, though she's been in love with him since childhood. Aw, cute. So then Tristan discovers that his new neighbor is the cult horror director Abel Urueta, and the legendary Artur claims that he can change their lives, even if his tale of a Nazi occultist imbuing magic into highly volatile silver nitrate stock sounds like sheer fantasy. The magic film was never finished, which is why Urueta swears his career vanished overnight. He's cursed. Now the director wants Montserrat and Tristan to help him shoot the missing scene and lift the curse. But she soon notices a dark presence following her, and Tristan begins seeing the ghost of his ex-girlfriend. as they work together to unravel the mystery of the film and the obscure occultist who once roamed their city, Montserrat and Tristan may find that sorcerers and magic are not only the stuff of movies. This sounds really fun. I just love her writing style. So I'm really excited. This sounds very different. I don't think I've actually read a book yet about a haunted film. I'm pretty sure I haven't yet. Haunted houses. Oh, yes. But haunted films, that seems to be a theme for this summer as well. There's been a couple haunted film books that have been coming out. So definitely check this one out if you like Silvia Moreno Garcia and her writing style. Some Mexican occultism is, I mean, I love this stuff. It's awesome. Silver Nitrate. It sounds really fun. And I didn't realize I got a signed copy. It's 50% off right now. And the cover is pretty cool. I like the simplicity. It's freaky. Yes, I like it. Okay, so here's my next book for today. Sorry if I'm going, oh, sorry. No, we're actually talking about a candle. Where are you? Okay, so I love this company. They're actually local to here where I'm at in the Pacific Northwest. It is the Malicious Women's Company. They have a lot of cool candles, usually really snarky candles, very, just awesome. So I got the horoscope one. I'm a Capricorn, so I had to get that. All the earth signs have the same scent. I haven't lit it yet, but it's like sweet, it's earthy, it's welcoming. I don't know. I really dig it. So it says get shit done. So yes, you can see this is what it says here. And this is pretty much exactly how this entire company, all of their titles and all of their candles are kind of like that. Pretty sassy. And I just really love that I'm supporting a more local company. And Amazon actually has a ton of these candles available. So make sure to click through. You can see a whole bunch of different cool scents. Let me see if there's an actual thing here for what it is supposed to smell like. It says, take a hike. My love is like this candle. If you leave me unattended, I will burn your house down. So I think the actual scents, the flavors are on the website as well. I can't remember. It's not on the candle itself. So again, check this out if you like horoscope stuff or sassy ladies. Okay, here's our next book. This one was fun. Okay, so this one is Camp Damascus. Here you are. This one, I believe, is a YA book. Technically, it's LGBTQ plus friendly, but it's horror as well. So I actually, Chuck Tingle ended up being at the bookstore I was at when I was going and checking this out, and he had a whole presentation. I had no idea he was going to be there. So that was pretty cool that he was presenting this book. You can see this cover is really cool. I'm really excited to read this one. I didn't realize that this one was going to be so popular, but let me just read what it's supposed to be about. It says, welcome to a God-fearing community with a heart of gold. We all know where this is going. Maybe. So something is wrong in Neverton, Montana, and that something isn't me. Nestled high up in the mountains is Camp Damascus, the self-proclaimed most effective gay conversion camp in the country. Here, a life free from sin awaits. But the secret behind that success is anything but holy. Chuck Tingle wears like a bag over his head. He's taking the bucket head route. I think he's trying to be as anonymous as possible. So he's an internet icon. And this is about demons and the queer community, and about the demons the queer community faces in this country and the price of keeping secrets and finding the courage to burn it all down. I like that it is basically is huge metaphor about what the queer community has to go through in a very, I mean, it's almost like lines on being a little realistic. And I think that's what's going to push this over to be extra freaky, is that, this isn't entirely far-fetched. Like maybe the paranormal stuff is, but like some of the other stuff, like the gay conversion camps, all of that is horrible. So here it's, I believe it's a YA book. It's not terribly long, so I'm excited to get through this one pretty fast. Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. This one actually might be the first one I read next week, I think is what. So stay tuned for our mini-sodes. So again, if you are just joining us, you can find all of that stuff on our socials down here. And our podcast, you can find it on your favorite listening app at Dark Side of the Library. Okay, cool. Somebody clicked it already. So this one's 29% off right now. So $18.44. Pretty good deal. Okay, so next on our list today, this one I actually thought of my co-host Carrie, and I might actually give it to her because I think she'll have a greater appreciation for it. But it sounds really good. I got to take the sticker off for, purposes of the Amazon, the great holy Amazon. Okay, here we go. This is the first bright thing. I love the cover. That's the first thing that really drew me in. So at first, my thought was this looks like hands, but I know it's a circus tent. I think it's pretty cool. So this one is by J.R. Dawson, and I'm wondering if it's, maybe some of you will know, but I have a Juno Dawson book up here too. I don't know if it's the same author. I haven't researched that. Okay, well, maybe I could. No, I can't, apparently. J.R. Dawson. Okay, so I'll read what this is about. This is like dark, circusy, creepy book, and that's more Carrie's alley versus mine. So I might have to give this one to her as a surprise, unless she's watching this right now, and then I can't surprise her. But Carrie, this will be for you. Okay, it says Ringmaster Rin, to those who know her best, can jump to different moments in time as easily as her wife Odette soars from bar to bar on the trapeze. And the circus they lead is a rare home and safe haven for magical misfits and outcasts known as Sparks. With the world still reeling from World War I, Rin and her troupe, the Circus of Fantasticals, travel the Midwest, offering a single night of enchantment and respite to all who step into their big top. Okay. But threats come at Rin from all sides. The future holds an impending war that the Sparks can see barreling towards their show and everyone in it. And Rin's past creeps closer every day, a malevolent shadow she can't fully escape. I wonder if she made a pact with somebody and that's why she's got these paranormal abilities. It takes the form of another circus with tents as black as midnight and a ringmaster who rules over his troupe with dangerous power. Rin's circus has something he wants, and he won't stop until it's his. So this, again, is more like if you like creepy, circusy books. I don't know why I'm spacing on the really big book that came out. It's like one of Carrie's favorite books. I'm losing my mind already. The Night Circus. Oh my goodness. It kind of, I'm a just because it's the Night Circus doesn't mean it's the same, but I'm getting similar vibes, but it doesn't disappear and come into the middle of the night. So we'll see. So this says, if you knew how dark tomorrow would be, what would you do with today? So this is the first bright thing. It sounds interesting. It is an adult novel. It is adult fiction, not YA. So if you're interested in this kind of book, I wanted to present this one to you because it's definitely a different genre per se. All right, so here's our next thing. This one actually has photos. This I just ran into at the bookstore and I had to grab it because it looked interesting. I've actually been wanting to get a Memento Mori tattoo for a while, so I had to pick this up. So it's an art book, and it talks about the history of what Memento Mori is. The Dead Among Us. So I'm going to share some of the photos in here. It's pretty cool. So on Amazon, it's $36.08. I've got hair in my mouth. Sorry. Here we have a whole bunch of photos. I might have to filter some of these out, but Here's our different chapters. The Gates of Paradise. So Bones and Salvation in Christian Tradition. The Dead Will Rise. Macabre Pieces of the 19th Century. We have Catholic World. We have Mysterious Burial Caves in Asia. Memorials in Bone to Victims of Tragedy. So many different Bolivia. I'm assuming Egypt is another place. Lots of interesting burial sites and how and different traditions around death all throughout this book. So if you are interested as well as like for a cultural study, holy cow, there's a lot of text on here. This is going to be a lot to go through, but the art is stunning, very inspirational. I do like to pick these things up just for art's sake, I guess. Holy cow. Like, I think that would be so crazy to see all of this all in one place. So this says Mysterious Burial Caves in Asia. I kind of want to go through this a little bit slower here. But there's a lot of fascinating history in a lot of different places. I'm sure there's a lot of connections between how people bury their dead, because a lot of these are just dealing with the dead itself. Blessed souls. So this is Catholic world. Wow. I mean, it is a part of life. It's just, we try to avoid it these days. So I wanted to share this one too. If you are into just like learning about different cultural norms and burial stuff, definitely check this out. It's wild. It's unique. It's morbid. This is Memento Mori. This is by Paul Kudinaris. Very interesting book, and it's kind of hefty, like lots of text, but lots of gorgeous photos are in here as well. Okay, moving on, we have, this one. This is another one that I actually picked up for Carrie specifically because she loves Nightmare Before Christmas. So this is the 30th anniversary edition of Nightmare Before Christmas, like in book form. I was so sad to not see any photos in here, but it looks like, let me see if I am imagining things. I thought it was like in alphabetical order, the introduction. So it says, I am afraid I've made a terrible mess of your holiday, Jack Skellington. We have our prologue and the hinterlands, and then we move on. This is this is such a cute little keepsake. 0 days until Halloween. Let's see if it's got a good jingle. Applause erupted from the crowd at the appearance of their beloved Halloween leader. The night's success was due to Jack Skellington, as it was every year. A debonair, I can't say this word for some reason. Jack had once more delivered the most scares in a single night. His ghoulish grin had caused an entire sleepover party to burst into tears. His bone-clacking jig had made countless parents drop their trick-or-treaters' candy bags and run. Truly, the Pumpkin King had earned his title for another year, and his clever performance as the Scarecrow had been the whipped cream on the pumpkin pie. It's really cute. I think this would be a really fun one to read to kids as well, or anybody that does love this movie. This would be a really fun, beautiful little collectible. So check this out. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas 30th edition. Hello, Sean Jones is here. Yes, you have caught me live. You've caught me. I'm just going over some of the books that I picked up over the week. Darker books. Most of them don't have photos, so it's kind of hard to talk about it because there's, what can I show? So I'm just reading some of the flap on that. Maybe you will be interested in some of these novels. Okay, I'm also sharing some candles, and my hair is stuck in my glasses. Don't you hate it when that happens? Okay, so I wanted to share this candle brand, and I'm so sad because this is one of my favorite scents that they had. They don't have it anymore, but they have a ton of other really cool scents. I know, I have to show words. It's really a bummer. Read books, everybody. Okay, so this is Old Soul Artisan. This one was the Evil Queen, but they have a lot of cool candles with a lot of unique scents that are all related to literature, and usually like the darker end of literature. So of course, like the Evil Queen, Snow White. So this one was blackcurrant, guava, and fig. But then we have other ones, like we have a voodoo one, a Samhain one, witch's brew. They have a couple like the Headless Horseman. So many cool different candles with many scents, and there's surely going to be something that you will enjoy. These burn for a really long time. So I think it's supposed to be 50 hours, but I swear it goes longer than that. Let me check. Maybe it doesn't say. These burn for a very long time. I assure you. I still have one of my candles from last year, and I burned it almost every day in October. And I was like, when are you going to be done? So this one was more summery. So I've been like trying to light this one every day. I really like this, and it also is a small company, so that's why this one is no longer available, but they do rotate out a bunch of stuff. So I do recommend this brand. It's really fun. If you have any people in your life that are really into literature, spooky books, this is a cool candle brand. It would be a really good gift for somebody. So this this particular size is around $30. Keep this on, I guess, a wish list maybe, because these do go on sale often. So the prices will go down over time. $30 is full price. And honestly, for these handcrafted candles, I think that's that's a steal. So check this one out. It's really good. Totally recommend it. Great scent. It doesn't give you, the headache. Maybe that's just me. Sometimes some candles are just like, oh my God, oh, I'm going to die. So this one's pretty nice. Okay. 55 to 60 hour burn time. All right. Okay. Thank you, Sean, for checking on that for me, because I was like, I'm pretty sure it's longer than 50 hours. So definitely look at that one. Okay. The next book I want to talk about, this one, I walked into the store and I was like, what? Stephen Graham Jones has another book out? And then I realized this is actually the second the sequel to My Heart is a Chainsaw, and that is, I need to remember what the actual series is called. Oh, the Indian Lake trilogy. Okay, so I did read My Heart is a Chainsaw, and that was a crazy book. Like, it wasn't my favorite novel. I do love Stephen Graham Jones, though. He's an excellent author. That particular book was just crazy fever dream. Definitely your main protagonist is dealing with a lot of trauma, and I think I think the reason why it was a lot and overstimulating is that your perspective is somebody who's in the midst of actually working through their stuff, and that can be a lot. Like, as we all know, we've all had to deal with our own stuff before. It can be overwhelming. So putting that into a piece of literature and then reading it and seeing somebody actually going through that whole process can be a lot. So, but it was a really interesting read. So this is the second book. I don't know if I want to read. I'll read the sleeve. It's fine. It's been a couple years. You should definitely read My Heart is a Chainsaw. Stephen Graham Jones is definitely one of those. He's definitely like top tier horror authors out there, and I think it's like, Stephen King. People have to read Stephen King at least once. Stephen Graham Jones is one of those people. Okay, so it says here, 4 years after her tumultuous senior year, Jade Daniels is released from prison right before Christmas when her conviction is overturned. But life beyond bars takes a dangerous turn as soon as she enters her hometown of Proof Rock, Idaho. Dark Mill South, seeking revenge for his 38 Dakota men hanged in 1862, escapes from his prison transfer due to a blizzard just outside of Proof Rock. Dark Mill South's reunion tour began on December 12th, 2019, a Thursday. 36 hours and 20 bodies later, on a Friday the 13th, it will all be over. So there's going to be 3 books for this particular series of books. It's a trilogy. This is the Indian Lake trilogy by Stephen Graham Jones. Check out My Heart is a Chainsaw first. obviously you want to learn more about Jade and, you know, her. She's gone through some stuff. This is a really, I'm excited to read this one. I've actually heard that this book is better than the first one, so I'm definitely gonna read it. Of course I am. And right now it's 27% off on Amazon. Where am I at? Amazon. Okay. So I also found I am always on the lookout for Junji Ito. I can't help it. So I have two Junji Ito books to share with you today. I kind of skipped over the first one, Tombs, because I've done that numerous times on the live stream, but I'll go over it quickly. But this is the one I haven't actually picked up. And I know this one is technically older, but God, this is such a cool cover. This is 29% off, so 14.11. I actually, okay, so I think this is the same thing as Tombs is an anthology. Junji Ito is a horror master, Japanese manga. It's really phenomenal. So I think some of these are kind of familiar if you've watched like the Netflix show. Some of these might pop up on there, but the art is just crazy good. It's creepy. And it goes, there's different kinds of horror themes in here. So it might be paranormal, it might be body horror, it might just be like really obscure or monster horror. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that he does in this, but also just the art is, I mean, it's out of this world. Perfect. I love his stuff. Like, I've never had to, I think it's one of those things where like, he clearly has a lot of fun. He goes to this place, and I want to go here one day where he just doesn't care what other people think about his stories. He's like, I'm just going to write the thing I enjoy. And he loves it, and you can tell. And it's kind of, I don't know if you've seen the Barbie movie yet, but like you can tell the actors love what they're doing and they're having fun, and that's why it makes it more enjoyable. Junji Ito's like that in everything he writes. He's clearly having fun. It's not meant to be a masterpiece every single time. He's just like putting stories out there just because he likes it. And it's inspirational because I think we need to start doing more of that. Censor is that. It's an anthology of really cool different stories. I think it's like 6-7 different stories. And it's all manga, beautifully illustrated, as you can see. And it's a little grim. Hooray! So let me show you guys Tombs as well. Tombs is his latest book. It's a little thicker than Censor. So, oops, this is Censor. This is Tombs. Tombs is like double the size. And let me go back and let me go back to the product of Tombs. This one was excellent. I got through this in an afternoon. It was addictive. Every story was like riveting, every single one. And then some of them were just exceptional. There are, I think, 11 stories in this one. Again, art style, different, creepy, sinister, lovely at the same time. And again, dealing with different kinds of themes, paranormal, monster, just strange stuff, body horror, lots of cool stuff. He is a total inspiration as far as like writing horror. So if you are interested in his latest English translated series of comics, Tombs is where you want to go for sure. But he's got a ton of stuff. You can find larger books, like larger and longer stories. He's got Gyo, Tomie, and Uzumaki is his other one, and they're very familiar characters. You'll probably, I mean, when you click through this and look through Junji Ito, you'll probably be very familiar with his stuff. So those are the two Junji Ito books that I have, and I wanted to share with you. I'm starting my collection. I know I'm late. I guess it's never too late to start. It's never too late. You like my knuckles? My knuckles, they've gone through some terrible things. I am certified in Krav Maga, so I don't know, maybe that shows. It doesn't show. These are just, I haven't practiced in a while. Okay, so my last actual book of today This one I just randomly, oh no, I forgot to add you. I knew I forgot to add something. I'm going to add it real fast because I love anthologies. I think they're really awesome to read, especially if you lead a really busy life. So Carrie and I, who host this, we're busy we're so busy, like all the time. The Beast, you are. So sometimes it's really hard to actually buckle down and read a really long novel. I'm actually shocked that I was able to read The Ferryman by Justin Cronin. I made that happen. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So anyway, so the last book I'm actually going to go over is another anthology by Paul Tremblay, who I read a couple of his short stories before, so I had to pick up an entire anthology written by him. So anyway, we'll go over that in a second. My other book that I just randomly ran into 29% off too. This one's by Juno Dawson. I don't know if it's the same as the circus book. Yes. Her Majesty's Royal Coven. So I know it doesn't sound super dark. It's about witches. It actually kind of sounds it sounds like Sex in the City with witches and an evil royal coven or something. Anyway, so it says, on the eve of summer solstice, 4 young girls, Helena, Leonie, Niam, and Elle, took the oath to join Her Majesty's Royal Coven, established by Queen Elizabeth I as a covert government department. Now, decades later, the witch community is still reeling from a civil war, and Helena is reigning high priestess of the organization. Yet Helena is the only one of her friend group still enmeshed in the stale bureaucracy of HMRC, which is Her Majesty's Royal Coven. Elle is trying to pretend she's a normal housewife, and Yam has become a country vet, using her powers to heal sick animals. In what Helena perceives as the deepest betrayal, Leonie has defected to start her own more inclusive and intersectional coven. Yes, Helena has a bigger problem. A young warlock of extraordinary capabilities has been captured by authorities and seems to threaten the very existence of Her Majesty's Royal Coven. With conflicting beliefs over the best course of action, the four friends must decide where their loyalties lie, with preserving tradition or what is right. So this one, I've never heard of it before. I think the sequel came out not too long ago. So I saw that sequel and it had a beautiful like moth on the cover. So I was like, what is the moth? I had to look at it. And so the next book sounds really interesting too. I love books about witches, and I'm kind of looking for some sisterhood books. It's kind of hard to find. So I'm hoping this will do it for me. It's got some decent reviews over on Amazon. So check this out. It's 12.13 right now. It's not bad. It's a pretty decent sized book it'll keep you occupied for like a couple afternoons, which is the point. So check this one out. My last candle today is La Jolie Muse Sacred Sage, a crossover with that and James Bond. I bet you it actually might be. It kind of has that sound that it might be James, but don't say that because my husband's going to want me to watch all of the James Bonds with him, and I just can't. Don't judge me. I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it. Okay. Sacred Sage. This is actually a pretty awesome candle company. So the scents, if you're looking for really powerful scents, no, I don't want to watch them. I don't want to watch them all. Like, I feel like I've watched the good ones. I don't want to watch all of them. I don't think I have to. It's like the same story, but different villains. I just can't do it. It's almost like shonen anime. I can't do that either. Okay. So if you like really strong fragrances, but you don't want the headache, this brand La Jolie is really, really good. They have a whole slew of different fragrances. They are not strict. I know this one's Sacred Sage, so it might sound like it implies witchy vibes, but the company itself is not a witchy company necessarily. I like this one because, first of all, I don't like sage. I don't think it smells good. This one is a mix of a bunch of different things and sage. And I kind of use it, or I like using this fragrance in some capacity for my practice, even though it's not sage, actually. It's just really nice. It's earthy. It's kind of has like an undertone of sweetness. It's not, I don't know. It's really nice, but it's very fragrant and it doesn't do the headache thing. So I really enjoy it. Check this brand out. They've got a whole bunch of them. I think I might have burned through the pumpkin spice one in a week because I was obsessed. It was really nice. And that one was, of course, during autumn. They do have seasonal fragrances. I'm actually shocked that this one is just, I mean, it's such a good scent. So I'm glad that they still have this. But they do seasonal fragrances as well. So this was La Jolie Muse Sacred Sage, really awesome candle, and it's a great candle holder. I'll call him and tell him that's what you want to do this weekend. No, don't do that, Sean. Don't do it. I will be very upset. Okay, so I'm threatening you right now over the internet. So our last book today, it is The Beast You Are by Paul Tremblay. This is the anthology, different short stories. I really like, I think he contributed to, I have the cover in my head. I just can't remember the name of the story. Dark Stars. I really liked his short story in there. This one's $14.99. And again, you can just stop and just, when you're finished with one story, you don't have to commit to all of these crazy stories. And look at like the art in here. It's so cool. What? Okay, well, I guess I'm ripping it already. No. Okay. Here's our table of contents. There's actually a lot of short stories. These are pretty short. So let's see. Meantime, I Know You're There, The Postal Zone, Red Eyes, The Blog at the End of the World. Ooh, The Blog at the End of the World. House of Windows, The Large Man, The Dead Thing, The Beast You Are, The Party. So let's see. It says in here, I'll keep the cover available so you can see. No one in New York City knows where the House of Windows came from, but it's exponentially expanding beyond its foundation, frightening the once fascinated Manhattanites and consuming valuable Fifth Avenue real estate. Truth, lies, and perception spread confusion and mistrust as people debate the existence of the apocalypse on the End of the World blog. A middle schooler's younger brother takes solace in The Dead Thing to cope with their parents' separation and erratic substance-fueled behavior. Isolated, suffering from amnesia, and exhausted from physical therapy, a person regains their wits and strength just in time for the last conversation. Okay, so I like that they actually have identified each chapter in a very smooth way. Sometimes they're like, in this chapter they talk about blah blah blah, so it's kind of cool that he's like incorporated all of this. So this has got some cool stuff in here. I love anthologies. I like seeing where authors can go, that they're able to do different kinds of horror. So they can do like dystopian, creature horror, paranormal, serial killer, all of it. I think it really shows just a breadth of their talent versus, I only do ghost stories. I mean, not that that's a problem, but I like seeing how far they go. So The Beast You Are, very cool, by Paul Tremblay. Short stories, pretty great for summertime, especially if you're busy and you just, if you're at the pool, you're like, I just want to do a short read at the pool, and then you can put it down and you don't have to worry about where am I at. So yeah, and it's 50% off, $14.99 right now. Lots of cool stories. He, by the way, did the didn't he do the Pallbearers Club? Yes. In the Cabin at the End of the World. A Head Full of Ghosts. Pretty awesome, big author. All right. Wow, my light went away. Hello, darkness. So Sean says, I still need to send a picture of the newspaper. Yes, you do. Please send it. All right. So that is the end of this podcast episode. Do you guys want me to go over a book that is in the carousel yet again? Because I definitely will for you. I will wait a little bit for potential comments and I'll go on my little spiel. Make sure to give us a follow on our socials at Dark Side of the Library. We do YouTube videos as well, where you can see our faces as we go through all of these curated books that we really enjoy. I hope everybody has a really awesome weekend. Make sure to follow here if you like creepy Halloween-esque things, if that's your aesthetic. Goth, metalheads are welcome here too. I mean, like anybody who likes all of that stuff, y'all are welcome here at Dark Side of the Library. Thank you, Sean. I hope you have a really good weekend too. And I know you're awesome. Sean is the best and he follows most of our socials because he's awesome. Be awesome like Sean. And he likes to tell me to watch 007, which I don't want to. All right, y'all. Have a really awesome weekend. I'm going to be live streaming over on our other live streaming channel, which is totally opposite, Cookbook Divas. So if you like cookbooks, make sure to go over there in a few hours. I'll be over there showcasing some new cookbooks that I got. Thanks so much. Have a great day.